What's good, YouTube? This is KB LaFleur. You can call me KB. Welcome back to another video. We got something pretty good. We got this sister jumping online, having to call out sisters, having to call out most of your sisters and your imps who have an issue with men just giving up because they done tried so hard to be in the child's life, but women did everything in their power to keep the child away from the father, what generally we'll call alienation, right? Because when you bring up the word alienation, we already know that it's pertaining a woman keeping a child away from its father. But the sad thing about it is you hear so many women say, well, it doesn't matter what that mother does. You should not want to stop being in that child's life, as if people do not have breaking points. And we talked about this many times. But obviously, you have many sisters and women saying, hey, well, that does not matter, right? They're still going to continue to have that same mindset. So until they can change that mindset of being entitled, being disrespectful, ignoring men's time and what men have to go through on a daily and what their mental is about, because they always say that, y'all men need to be sympathetic and yada, yada, yada. But a lot of women aren't even sympathetic towards men. Who wants to continue to fight to be in a person's life when you have the person who's controlling that person telling you, hey man, I'm gonna do everything in my power to keep you away from this child? We've seen plenty of videos where women say, hey, if they're upset with their baby father, they will, I'm going to keep this child away from you. Hey, I'm gonna go tell the judge this. Hey, I'm gonna go tell the judge that. There is too much proof out there to show you that men go through way too much. They go through way too much just to be a part of the child's life, and the mother and the courts are doing everything they can to keep you away from that child. What human being wants to continue to go through that? So the fact that, and once again, this just shows how entitled a lot of women are. The fact that they can tell a man, hey, well, there should be nothing to keep you away from being in that child's life, when they are the main ones who control that power on whether that child is in that man's life or not. They deprive their own children of a nurturing father, of a father who cares. Let's hear the sister out.
All right, hey y'all. So I seen this video by Keita, and Keita was talking about how come men say that the court system is holding their child away from them because they want to be a part of their life, but the court system doesn't. She was basically saying that if you are claiming to be a good father, you should go through every extreme possible to see your child. I don't believe in that. I believe it gets to a certain point when you need to cut ties with her and those children, and when the correct times comes, those children are going to grow up and realize who was the real issue and what was the real issue. And it's 9 times out of 10 is the mother, because she was bitter and angry. I just have this weird perception that y'all think that just because these men are men and they're masculine, that they should be able to feel pain, that they should have to struggle to see their child. I don't. I believe in giving up rights. If somebody is being so difficult to the point where your life is becoming stressed out, you're not able to focus, you're not able to take care of yourself, let go of that situation and the situation will come back to you. There is a very thin line in self-preservation and just plain ignorance. I'm not going to continue to stress myself out about a situation that I cannot control. And 99% of the court system in America is always going to benefit the woman. And let's not talk about how they do not like black men. So I wouldn't even recommend a black man going to court and fighting for his child. I'm being real. Let's not talk about the situation where black men have been fighting for years for their children, and their children are signed over to CPS because the caseworkers have way more power over the black man. We keep forgetting that we live in America where the system is legit built against the black man while it benefits the black woman, and nobody wants to speak on that. Like, nobody ever talks about the conversation. Why do these men have to fight for their kids? Why do you have to go to court? Because 2 adults that could consent to sexual activity is not mature enough to have a conversation and remove their own emotional aspects from the situation. How about we talk about that? It seems like black people always want to, let's go to court. Black people are so obsessed with the same court system that will throw you in prison for a lifetime and think nothing of you. Why can't y'all solve the issue without the court system? Because you were immature from the very beginning. If you feel like you cannot solve the issue with the partner if they did something that you do not like, why are you having intercourse? You are not mature enough to be having intercourse, because there are certain things that come with it.
Now, shout out to lovely Keita. Shout out to lovely Keita. That is a very beautiful sister. I mean, that is a very, very luscious, beautiful sister. But she still has some flawed views, and she still thinks like your modern day woman. I mean, it is just sad, but this is what you get, right? You have these strong, independent women. You have these women, men who like to stand 10 toes down, really don't want a man leading. Let's be honest. A woman's idea of a man leading is very different than a man's idea of a man leading, right? A woman, oh, well, a good leader can give himself up emotionally and this, that, and like, come on, man. But luckily you have people who's going to fight back on that. Now, the sister saying, why, once again, every man has a breaking point. Every man has a breaking point, and it's very disingenuous for women to say that, hey, well, you still need to be fighting for that child when they are the same ones who will be in the same situation if the roles were reversed, right? If the roles were reversed and they constantly have to go through this, they would not want to be in the child's life either. That's just a fact of the matter. But they are entitled enough to be able to say, that's not the case. I'm gonna love my child till the very day I die. Once again, when you're in a position of power and you can control if that child is going to be able to see his father or not, once again, it's easy to say that. So let's go ahead and read these comments, man. Somebody says, the fact that men have to fight to see their kids instead of the courts automatically giving 50-50 to both parents is a major issue. So then somebody else says, yep, my son is 28 and told me, I see why you didn't want to be with my mom. Then somebody else says, I took my ex-wife to court, got full custody of my son, and she paid me child support, right? It's very rare. Very rare. Once again, you already know 90% of your women are getting alimony. 70 to 80% of your women win custody battles. It's very hard. It's very hard. It's very hard, especially hard to get a woman on child support. Then somebody else says, it's crazy to say that we have to fight for our own kids while mom is granted the kids and has to be proven unfit for a man to get them. Then somebody else says, this is exactly where I am. Been paying child support 8 out of 10 years now and still get treated like trash whenever she feels like it. Been there for my son since day one, literally, and still she finds problems with my life. I'm done kissing ass just to see my child, and I'm not going to no damn court to get my child either. Brothers are fed up, right? Brothers are fed up. Then somebody else says, yes, ma'am, you are absolutely correct. My son came back and found me and told me what he saw I had to go through. And now at 16 years old, I have full custody of him and my daughter. Then somebody else says, I did it. Mine are both 19 now. Had them since 8 and 9. I've been through a lot, but it was worth it. Then somebody else says, why do the good fathers have to fight though? The ones who don't even bother are the ones who don't even get pressed about their kids, but the ones who want to be in their kids' life and want their babies get taken through hell and back. Then somebody else says, I've been fighting and I put myself on child support when I was 21 and I'm 33 and still ain't right. No matter how hard you try and go for men, the system is effed up and it's a lot. But if you love your kids, it's worth trying with everything you have in you, right? Until you rolled over and then the woman still wins at the end of the day, you know. Now, once again, for me, I say fight for your child. You know, I don't have a baby mother. I don't have any children. So I'm not going to sit here because once again, I had a whole discussion with my homeboy. I used to, back in my old company, it was me, and it was probably like 3 other dudes. And we were just all having a conversation. We're just having a conversation about women. And he isn't with his baby mother. But they have a great co-parenting relationship, right? So, I mean, and whenever she needs him, he'll pull up, and whenever he needs her, she'll come through or whatever. As far as, hey, man, listen, I got to go out, do something. Can you take my child? Yeah, this, that, and the third. So I'm just saying, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure there's times, man, where you're not wanting to deal with that child or whatever. You got something that you got going on and she just springs it on you. Or is that not an issue? Hey, nah, man, I'm always take it, cuckoo. Which, I mean, hey, once again, I ain't knocking it. But are we going to just dismiss the fact that, hey, man, listen, let's just say if I had a child for 2 weeks, which if that is the case, then hey, be happy about that. But once again, if I had the child for 2 weeks and you're the one that's supposed to be having a child and I got something I got to do, and you just keep springing the child on me, I think at some point in time, I'm going to get irritated. But his whole thing behind it was, man, listen, I will not argue with her. I'm not going to go back and forth with her because I do not want to get put on child support. And just the mere fact that he has to go through all of that, it's just mighty crazy. It's just mighty crazy. But I learned, I mean, hey, if that's what makes it work, he has access to his child. It is what it is, bro. Knock yourself out, bro. Do your thing, right? Do your thing. If that is what's keeping you happy with your child, then I ain't gonna knock it. Y'all found the system. Y'all made it work. So guys, once again, if you want to fight for your child and you've been fighting for that child for 8, 9, 10, 20 years, you've been fighting with that baby mother, then I mean, hey, once again, if you feel that it is that important, you got to knock yourself out. You got to do it, right? You got to do it. Your child will always be important. But once again, it's a losing battle to fight the mother and the court system. That's Shaq and Kobe. So do me a huge favor, man. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel.